Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy. Thank you for joining me for our live tarot session today on August. What is it today? 29th, 2024. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Let's give a shout out here to the chat. Good to see you, Gandhi. Much love, Kari. Great to see you, Exit 101. Good to see you, Graham. All right. Much love, Christy. Amazing, amazing. Glad you guys are all here. This is wonderful. So we're going to start today by talking about a bit of our astrology. So we have that moon in Gemini energy right now. This is that incredible intellectually driven energy. This is that spontaneous energy, an energy of not wanting to be too fixated or pinpointed or hold down anywhere, right? It's that bouncy, frivolous, kind of wild emotive time when we're really going to be wanting to be in community and we're going to want to explore our intellect to its depths. And we're all still sitting in this amazing sun of Virgo, which is that beautiful virgin energy in the sun, right? This is the harvest time, the time when we need to organize and to come together to do the work necessary to prepare for the changing of seasons. And Virgo is that profound organizer, that deeply analytical energy, the one who can do the hard work to build and to protect and to sustain us over these winter months. So beautiful energy to connect to today. Now's the time when you can have this deep intellectual insights, when you can move in community and use those insights to transform your present. You know, when you can really build and manifest in the now and prepare for the changing of cycles. Beautiful. All right. So I wanted to talk a bit about the title today. When I was meditating and thinking on the cards, I drew the Knight of Swords, deeply intellectual, outgoing energy, the one who pursues learning, the one who engages with the world and has something to teach and has something to learn and to gain, who's in that pursuit of wisdom, right? And recognizing that it is through this pursuit of the knowledge that we transform our world, that we expand our perceptions. And that is the magic that we need to be in, the mode that we want to be in. We want to be in this energy of going out and using our mind and being in that reason sense, being in that pursuit of understanding, right? Deeply profound energy. And I wanted to read for you guys a fun poem here. It's called The Future Life by William Cullen Bryant. How shall I know thee in the sphere which keeps the disembodied spirits of the dead, when all of thee that time could wither sleeps and perishes among the dust we tread? For shall I feel the sting of ceaseless pain if there I meet thy gentle presence not, nor hear the voice I love, nor read again in thy serenest eyes the tender thought? Will not thy own meek heart demand me there, that heart whose fondest throbs to me were given? My name on earth was ever in thy prayer. Shall it be banished from my tongue in heaven? In meadows fanned by heaven's life-breathing wind, in the resplendence of that glorious sphere, in larger movements of the unfettered mind, wilt thou forget the love that joined us here? The love that lived through all the stormy past and meekly with my harsher nature bore, and deeper grew and tenderer to the last. Shall it expire with life and be no more? And happier lot than mine in larger light await thee there, for thou hast bowed thy will in cheerful homage to the rule of right, and lovest all and renderest good for ill. For me, the sordid cares in which I dwell shrink and consume my heart, as heat the scroll, and wrath has left its scar, that fire of hell has left its frightful scar upon my soul. Yet thou, though wert the glory of the sky, wilt thou not keep the same beloved name, the same fair thoughtful brow and gentle eye, lovelier and heavy and sweet climate, yet the same? Shalt thou not teach me in that calmer home the wisdom that I learned so ill in this, the wisdom which is love, till I become thy fit companion in the land of bliss. Right? Forever striving, going through the cycles till you can become that fit companion. Beautiful. All right. That's the message. Do the work that is necessary, study and grow, right? Gain that wisdom, become the fit companion. So we're going to start today's sortes. We're going to start today with our Ganapati oracle. And we're going to ask Ganesha Ganapati, the divine child, the guardian of the threshold, Lord of beginnings, Lord of the Ganas, to inspire us this evening and to send us a message. And we ask that our message is heard by those who need to hear it. So Ganapati Ganesha, what is the message? All right. Positive outlook. The power of belief. Imagining a bright and better future, and making it happen through that positivity, right? Beautiful energy. And it's a recognition of the power of that kind of thinking to transform your reality. The power of belief. Look to the love around you. Look at the life that you are living and embrace the moment. And look at the future that is unfolding and see the beauty. All right. Thank you, Ganapati. Okay. We're now going to start our sortes proper. And today we're going to begin with an independent people, an epic. Before I do, sortes comes to us from the Greco-Roman tradition. It is a form of bibliomancy, that is divination through literature. And we ask those goddesses of inspiration, the muses, to guide our hand and to inspire us. So muses, what is the message from an independent people? Inspire us this evening. It isn't certain that I shall repeat such an offer, but if you would rather build, you can please yourself entirely. And if you should need a loan from the savings bank for building purposes, I certainly shan't stand in your way. Wow. I think this is an interesting message. The message here is about recognizing when there are offers on the table and when there are opportunities present, right? And recognizing that there are always options afforded to you. You have the free will to choose. You can choose to take the offer. You can choose to go to your own, to take out loans and to struggle, The question is, what is worth it to you, right? And recognize that the struggle sometimes is self-imposed, that often the muse provides you a way out, a way to flow and to adapt. If only you look for it, if only you're willing to move and accept it. Sometimes we take the offer because it's better than the struggle. Is your pride and ego really worth it? Often the message is to learn to flow and to adapt and to change. And remember this. All right, beautiful. We're now going to go to Rebele, Gargantua, and Pantagruel. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Rebele? Inspire us this evening. To draw up a will now, said Epistemon, when it behooves us to exert ourselves and help the crew on pain of shipwreck, seems to me to be an action as inappropriate and ill-timed as that of those broken lancers and friends of Caesar who, when invading Gaul, wasted their time drawing up wills and codicils, lamenting their fortune and weeping for their absent wives and friends in Rome, whereas they ought, of necessity, to have been rushing to arms and exerting themselves against Ariovistus, their foe. Wow. Are you too busy worrying about the future and your assets, right? and the things you have no control over? Are you not fixated upon the present situation when there is help needed, when there is a war at hand? Let me read again. To draw upon the will now, said Epistemon, when it behooves us to exert ourselves and help the crew on pain of shipwreck, seems to me to be an action as inappropriate and ill-timed as that of those broken lancers and friends of Caesar's who, when invading Gaul, wasted their time drawing up wills and codicils, lamenting their fortune and weeping for their absent wives and friends in Rome, whereas they ought, of necessity, to have been rushing to arms and exerting themselves against Ariovistus, their foe. Of necessity, right? Necessity and fortune. You must learn to face fortune. Do not be bound to things, into materials, or even ideas of the future. Do not worry of things such as wills. Worry of your life in the present. Beautiful. Okay, let us continue. We are now going to go to Dante, the Divine Comedy. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Dante? Inspire us. Many times indeed, my brother, it has happened that to avoid peril, things have been done unwillingly that were not fitting. Alcmaeon, urged by his father, killed his own mother, so that to comply with filial duty, he became pitiless. Wow. Many times indeed, my brother, it has happened that to avoid peril, things have been done unwillingly that were not fitting. Alcmaeon, urged by his father, killed his own mother, so that to comply with filial duty, he became pitiless. He became pitiless. Wow. And look, to avoid peril, to avoid fear, people do things. To avoid having to face harshness, people do things that are far worse. Out of fear, right? That's the thing. To avoid peril, things have been done unwillingly that were not fitting. And what is the greater sin? That is the question. You know, what is the purpose and what should you do? Is it right to avoid peril for the sake of what? What if it results in a greater peril still? What if you're forced to kill your own mother? My gosh. Wow. Okay. 10 Plays by Euripides. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Euripides? Inspire us this evening. When they have covered their heads with their robes to keep the sun's beam from the taint. When they have covered their heads with their robes. Wow. When they have covered their heads with their robes, this is an act of mourning. And they're talking about the priestesses and the priests of the Great Mother, those who shave their heads and leave the head exposed. Wild. And you know that mourning magic is truly powerful, transformative magic. It's the key to the Eleusinian rites. It's what causes Persephone to return. You know, it's what causes Hecate to help Demeter. Interesting. All right. Q, Luther Blissett. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Q? Inspire us this evening. He makes a little skip as he sets off, already trying to gain some distance, laughing. What else gives life its flavor? He makes a little skip as he sets off, already trying to gain some distance on me, laughing. What else gives life its flavor? Trickster energy, if I ever heard it. What else gives life its flavor? That's the tasting, the pursuit of the erotic, right? The pursuit of pleasures, of the flesh, and of love, and of eating, and of joy, right? Intense. All right, let's continue. The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco. Uses, what is the message from Umberto Eco? Inspire us. A sign, William said, that there were some rooms in which works of mixed nature were housed. A sign, William said, that there were some rooms in which works of mixed nature were housed. Works of mixed nature. This is interesting, right? And they're talking about rooms that are kept and hidden behind gates that contain knowledge. And there are some of these hidden rooms which contain a hidden knowledge of a mixed nature, alchemical knowledge, the combining of two different forms to create something new, right? Interesting. All right. We're now going to go to Edgar Allan Poe. Muses. What is the message from Poe? Inspire us this evening. The material was of the richest cloth of gold and purple. It was spotted all over at irregular intervals with arabesque figures about a foot in diameter, and wrought upon the cloth in patterns of the most jetty black. But these figures partook of their true character of the arabesque only when regarded from a single point of view. By a contrivance now common and indeed traceable to a very remote period of antiquity, they were made changeable in aspect. To one entering the room, they bore the appearance of simple monstrosities. But upon a further advance, this appearance gradually departed, and by step, as the visitor moved to his chamber, his station in the chamber, he saw himself well surrounded by an endless succession of the ghastly forms which belong to the superstition of the Norman, or arise in the guilty slumbers of the monk. I wanted to read all of this. This is from, I'm surprised I drew this one. This is from my favorite Edgar Allan Poe story, Ligeia. And he's talking about these cloaks, these draperies that are hanging on the wall in gold and in like a purpley black. And painted on these cloaks on this tapestry are these figures. But this is where the magic lies, right? In this room, he has an incense burning that's causing this smoke as he's trying to cure his dying wife. And there's candlelight, low light emitting. And when you look on this fabric through the smoke and the low light with this singular perspective, the shapes start to change. They start to dance, and you can partake in that illusion, that control of perception. And as you move further, the characters become more and more clear. They become less monstrous. You know, it's just wild. And I wanted to read it just because of this idea of changing your perception to make you see something that's not there or is there, right? It's so interesting to think about. And the magic is all in that perception, right? Just beautiful. Okay. Let us continue. We're now going to go to the Psychic Bible by The Temple of Psychic Youth in Genesis Peorage. All right, muses, guide my hand. What is the message from the Psychic Bible? Far beyond consensus, reality, and normality is this place where all dreams meet. A dimension, I believe, that exists outside time and space. Far beyond consensus, reality, and normality is this place where all dreams meet. A dimension, I believe, exists outside time and space. Wow. Outside of time and space, psionic life. Interesting to think about. And again, we're seeing this imagery of the dream, the power of the dream, and the need to focus and listen to the dreams and recognize that the dream self is a mirror, right? That you can connect to the genius, the daimon, the muse through the dream. Wow. All right. We're going to do one final sortes. Okay. Alexander Dumas, The Three Musketeers. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Dumas? Inspire us this evening. I don't know what you mean, nor do I even desire to know what you mean. But I wish to please you and see nothing out of the way in giving you what you demand with respect to so infamous a creature. The more so as you tell me this paltry D'Artagnan is a libertine, a duelist, and a traitor. I don't know what you mean, nor do I even desire to know what you mean. But I wish to please you and see nothing out of the way in giving you what you demand with respect to so infamous a creature. The more so as you tell me this paltry D'Artagnan is a libertine, a duelist, and a traitor. Wow. Right in the beginning, we see the problem. I don't know what you mean, nor do I even desire to know what you mean. But I wish to please you and see nothing out of the way in giving you what you demand. So just abandon all reason, abandon all hope of understanding, and only live to serve, right? And that is coming out of the mouth of the priesthood. Bad news, if you ask me. All right. Okay, we're now going to hop to our tarot proper. But before I do, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, please reach out to me, snappydtts@gmail.com, or you can find me on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. I'm always hanging out. You'll see my little image of Pan snapping his fingers. That's how you recognize it's me. Come say hi. All right, and we're going to start with our Thoth Tarot. And this is, of course, the tarot by Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley. And we are going to invoke, whoa. Look who just shot out to say hi. Look who shot out to say hi. The Knight of Swords. Wow. The center card is always the most important message. We got a clear message here. All right. I'm going to finish my spiel and my shuffling, though. All right. Saturn Chronos. Dissect our life. Cut it up and put it on the plate. Show us our present. And we ask, how do we best move and flow? How do we rise above these conflicts? And how do we learn to manifest our true will? All right. And we got our center card, right? We're back to this Knight of Swords. This is that mature energy of that outgoing pursuer of wisdom, the one who tries to transform the world through their understanding, through that pursuit of truth, and through that sharing of truth, right? This is a high-minded individual who's in that lofty pursuit of the mystical, in the airy, in that high-minded, lofty sense. And this is the energy where we're going, of study and of learning and of engaging with knowledge and protecting knowledge, right? Let's see where this is going. Wow. Connected to this Knight of Swords, we have the oppression. Intense energy. What we see here is there's so much passion, so much determination, so much fiery, passionate energy that is at play, that it is becoming an obsession. It's starting to hold us back. The cycle is now at its end. It needs to explode and reset and be redirected. This passionate energy, we need to see this for what it is and reject the obsession and refocus it into a new place. End this cycle and begin anew. Does the knight have the wisdom to see what his passionate, fiery emotions are causing? Let's continue. Wow. What we're seeing is that there needs to be a peace with this ending, with this cycle, right? As this obsession ends, right? The 10 is a completion. So while we're seeing the obsession here, this is that fiery energy burning itself out, right? It's that fiery energy that has come fully. It can't expand anymore. All we can do now is let it run its course and play out. And that's what we're seeing here. Being at peace with this, learning to not engage and to not fight. Interesting. Let's continue. Let's see where this energy is going. What is that knight pursuing? Even though he is pursuing that intellect is in that mode of fixating and looking for love, the pursuit of love, the pursuit of that pleasurable love, that loving connection, right? Beautiful energy. Where's this going? Wow. And the love that they're connecting to, interesting enough, is that outgoing Knight of Discs. It's similar outgoing, high-minded energy that is trying to build for themselves. But this is someone who's fixated upon their immediate world, upon the physical, upon building their foundation, upon establishing a business, upon connecting and building in that practical sense. So we have two energies here, connected through love. One is in that high-minded mystical, and one is in that low-minded practical. Both outgoing energies. Interesting. Where's this going? Wow. We have the death here. Interesting. You know, the death is that ending. It's a completion. It's the ending of a cycle, right? It's things coming to their finality and their fruition, right? What I'm seeing here is that this love that's coming in is ending a cycle. It's ending a time and a connection, you know? And I think what it's ending is actually the time of the night itself. The time of the night itself. But let's continue to see where this is going. Wow. Yeah, this is about a completion cycle. You know, what I'm seeing here is that we were in this energy is of the night is in that pursuit of love. Even though they're showing up as that high-minded mystic, it's that mystical love that they're pursuing. They're trying to connect to that muses in that loving connection. You know, they're trying to seek out that intellectual other, that one that can meet them and understand them from that high-minded mystical approach. And there was success here. There's a loving connection. This passionate cycle is coming to completion. This search is over, right? And now the next part of this cycle can begin as the spiral continues. Interesting. Let's see where this is going. Wow. Yeah. We've seen the Four of Cups come up numerous times in the last little while, right? And this is that energy of the luxury of being in a place where you are comfortable, but not necessarily happy, right? This is the cups are fulfilling each other. Everyone is sustained, but it is not growing. It is not changing, right? And while there is love here, it is not enough to sustain us. It is not enough to be expansive. And this is a sign that this is coming to an end as we let this cycle complete and we build upon it. No more being bound by that luxury. Now is the time to go out and pursue love for ourselves, right? This cycle is coming to an end with the luxury. Let's see. Yeah. And it's about embodying now that chariot energy, the outgoing one who dons the armor and transforms reality and works in the practical and in the immediate and in the present, who has that strength to go forward, to drive, to transform, right? And what we're seeing is this is directly across from the disc, the Knight of Discs. So what I'm getting here actually is what we're seeing is that this death cycle that's playing out, and what we're recognizing is that the Knight of Swords has brought us so far. The Knight of Swords has brought you so far in the pursuit of love. You know, it attracted that love. It brought that love in, you know. But we are not manifesting that love in our immediate reality because we're showing up with the wrong energy, right? That energy of the Knight is of that pursuer of wisdom, right? Is of that pursuer of the lofty and the airy, nothing tangible. So what we're seeing now is that there's a completion of this cycle, a death of the Knight, and we are reborn as the Knight of Discs, right? The Knight of Discs is the one who has that power to drive the chariot and to pursue this love in that physical, to end this cycle and to be at peace with it, right? This oppression is here because we are trying to manifest fiery, loving energy, right? Which is water and fire. And we are showing up in completely the wrong way. We're showing up with air. But what we see here, which is interesting and beautiful, is that we do not abandon anything, but rather incorporate it all. The discs is the incorporation of all the signs. We are now in that total pursuit, right? We have found what we are after. We know what we want, and now we can pursue it in the real. The time for high-minded loftiness is over, right? The time of being bound by this passion that has nowhere to go is over. Now it's about directing that fire, directing that water in the pursuit of love, to have the force to don the armor and to move towards it, to let that cycle play out, right? Beautiful. All right. I'm now going to flip and we're going to take a look at our full square. But before I do, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. It's a beautiful blessing and it's good karma. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, you can reach out to me, snappydds@gmail.com, or message me on the Myth and Lore Discord. And even just message me if you want to hang out and say hi, right? No need to go any further or to have any readings, right? I'm just looking to meet some cool people, so come say hi. All right, let's take a look at our full square. Beautiful. Okay. Let's start here. Yeah. The key to overcoming this oppression and this luxury, right, to ending this cycle and to breaking free of this oppressive mold is to become that Knight of Discs, the one who has that energy to manifest their reality in the physical, to do the hard work of transformation, right? Who can break this cycle and who can build upon this one. Beautiful. Yeah. And we're seeing here, you know, that Knight of Air trying to pursue love is not working so hot. Even if he may be able to bring that loving connection, to make that love manifest, to bring it to completion, wrong energy. So this cycle is coming to a completion, right? This passionate oppression is on the close. But this love we're still pursuing. but we need to change that energy and how we pursue it. Let's continue. Right? We see this at key here, right? As the cycle ends, right? There's a death to this cycle. As this night energy comes out to a play, we need to be at peace with this. We need to be at peace with this as we move from this high-minded monastic approach to this practical approach. You know, what I'm seeing here, what we're seeing here is that, you know, the Knight of Swords is kind of selfish energy in many ways. And I don't mean this in a negative way. It's just that energy that is pursuing knowledge of the self, right? It's very fixated upon that singular path, very high-minded and lofty in its goals. Beautiful energy, but closed energy, you know? Unlike the Knight of Discs, the Knight of Discs is in the world. It's building, it's outgoing, it's manifesting, and it's trying to build around it. Very different energy. It is not high-minded at all. In fact, it is the opposite. It is completely grounded in the earth, right? And what we're seeing is that the cycle is changing. You found what you were looking for, right? You found what you were looking for. This sustained you while you were searching, but now it's time to build upon it and to let that frustration end and to recognize that the source of all this frustration, this energy not going anywhere, is because you're showing up in the wrong way. Becoming the knight is about donning the armor and taking responsibility, right? We see this clearly when we look at our cross. You know, there's a conflict here, and it's about the Knight of Swords is this power of reason, and he needs to see that in order to move in the world and to manifest his dreams, he must incorporate the water, the fire, right? You cannot just show up as air and hope to manifest in the real. Won't work. Just won't. All right. And then the last, this cycle is ending, right? This lofty pursuit of the mystical, this isolated loner, in a sense, this one who is sustained in the cycle of, you know, emotional stability. This is all broken by the pursuit of love. This cycle is ending as love comes in, as the night comes in, as we move towards it. All right, you know, that's the message, people. Be at peace with this translation, you know, become that knight, overcome this oppressive energy, transform it into new cyclical energy that will work towards you. Build upon this foundation and move towards love. Have the strength to don that armor and to make the move necessary. Pursue that loving connection, right? And be at peace with this transformation, this ending of this cycle. Beautiful, beautiful energy, powerful energy, faded energy. Pursue love. Use your reason to see that now is the time to be practical. Now is the time to don your armor. Now is the time to build upon this, to let this oppressive cycle play out, and to move towards love. That's the message. I hope it resonated with you. It certainly resonated with me. All right, we're going to do one final sortes, and then we're going to call it an evening. And for our last message, we're going to go to my dear friend Graham in his book, The Shape of My Will. All right, Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Graham? Inspire us this evening. All right. Leave the past to rot in the inferno. There's your message. Leave the past to rot in the inferno. Accept this transformation. You are no longer the loner mystic. You are now the one who builds bridges and pursues love. Embrace it, my friends. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope I see you again tomorrow for another live tarot session. Take care, everyone. Bye.